The wondering where the mind
What the fuck is up, everyone? It's your boy Kevin motherfucking G. Welcome back to another great and exciting episode of the Wandering Mind Podcast, where
the mind wanders.
The mind wanders. I, of course, am your extremely sexy, dapper host, Kevin motherfucking G. And this time I remembered my co-host, unlike every other podcast I do. Alongside me is the beautiful and talented Marie G. Loops. How are you doing, Maria?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good, and I'm doing really good.
How are you doing on this special first week of October?
It's not. Oh.
You're not supposed to ruin it, okay? This video is for October. Okay, as far as you know, we are in October this is the first week.
Well, I guess by then I'll feel excited,
By then?
It's getting a little chilly.
Getting chilly. Yeah. The air is crispier,
You gotta put yourself in the mindset like you're already there,
Yeah,
pumpkin spice
weather.
lattes,
Oh my gosh, I don't really like that, but I'll give it a try just so I could go into autumn, that fall season.
And of course, that voice, you've heard it before. We've had her on before. It is the great and talented artiste. I'll say it in French. I think that's French.
Artiste? No.
Angelica. Where's it at?
Yay, snaps.
Thank you. People have been telling me, why haven't I been using this anymore? Yeah. There it is. Welcome, Angelica. Thank you for being here.
Yes.
On this quite particular, most interesting, and if I do say so myself, most important State of the Union.
Okay. What the hell?
You're
too wordy.
Did I make it sound important?
Get out of here.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
But thank you guys. Listen, it's October. All right, you guys get in the mindset. All right.
Okay.
As of recording this, it's September, but we're just a couple weeks away.
Halfway.
Barely the first week of September.
Yeah.
But
okay.
This podcast is special because, the last podcast we did with Angelica was great. It was magnificent, Mwah, kisses to the chef.
Yes.
But the conversation we had afterwards, we spoke for at least another hour off air. And that conversation was really, really good. I wish I could have captured that. So that's what we're going to try to do on this podcast, right? What were we talking about, right? You're like, well, what the fuck were you talking about, Kevin? We were talking about spirituality.
Bunch of random stuff, but good stuff.
Like spirituality and the universe and all that, the good stuff. So that's what I was trying to get into, Angelica, you have a real good open mind brain. So you're the perfect person to have here to speak about it with. But before we get into it, let me just share this story so you guys know where I'm coming from. Story time! I usually save the stories for last, but okay. If you guys are wondering, how did you start thinking this way, Kevin? How did you start having a brain that makes you so open-minded? Well, you buckle your seatbelts and clamp your jaws because I got a story for you.
Okay.
The year was 20, I want to say 15, right? Mm-hmm. I was a young buck. No, it was actually 2012, right?
Yeah.
I was debating whether to go back to college or not. It was a tough time in my life. Mm-hmm. I dropped out of college, but then I recently went back in it, and I paid my $1,500. I'm like, I'm gonna pay for school again. But then on the side, I was still hustling, right? I was still trapping. Mm-hmm. I was deep in the game. And on this one pickup, right, we had to go pick up some weight down in Colorado. So me and my homie went to go pick up some weight over there. And while we had, some of that green, he said, hey, I got some of these mushrooms if you're interested, right? The plug, he said he got some mushroom. And I am not really particularly aware of let's say
Of the fungi.
of the fungi. Yeah, so, it definitely was a fun guy.
Mycelium.
But me and my homie Baby Ross, shout out to Baby Ross. Yeah, this is him again. Me and my homeboy Baby Ross were like, mushrooms, you say, my good sir. Well, a pound of it, you say. That
my gosh.
sounds like a great
Crazy.
investment. So guess what we did? We'll take those 2. So we take that pound of mushrooms and we're like, hey, we're here in the city of Colorado, Denver, Colorado, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Let's experiment. So we take that pound of mushrooms and large amount of weight of green in the back to a fancy hotel, which was called the Sheraton. Are you guys aware of what the Sheraton is?
No.
It is a more or less fancier hotel. It is no Holiday Inn. It is no whatever.
Is it like a bar or what?
It's a fancy hotel, okay? That is where the carpet is not just spiral colors like you're at the bowling alley. It's like they got one flower made with wood on the bottom of a balcony. Just that fancy kind of with like 57 floors and shit.
Oh, come on. Is that where like more widows appear?
Yeah, this is where all the white. This is gonna come into effect. Yeah, this is where a lot of white people stay.
Yeah.
But me and my homie, we're feeling special. We're feeling good. We're like, hey, we got
Treat
some.
yourself.
Yeah, treat yourself. It's not every day that you run into the universe, right?
Yeah.
It's not every day you got the universe in your pocket. So me and my homie and the plug that was with us, I guess he said, I'm gonna go with you guys to show you how to do it. That
Show
way,
you the way.
yeah, show you how to do it so
you the
you're
way.
not, so you don't take too much and go crazy. So we were like, all right, bet, that sounds good to us. So we booked us 1 room, 2 beds, right, separate. I wish it would have been 1 bed, but unfortunately he was like, no, bro.
Oh,
He ain't
you're
trying to
so
cuddle.
lame. No
Where's it
cuddle
at?
time.
Dang.
What the hell?
It was 2 beds.
It was
Oh
too
my
bad.
God, That's horrible.
Who's little spoon? Who's big spoon?
I would have been the big spoon. He would have said. He
Liar.
would have said otherwise.
Yeah. That's
But-
not what you told me.
Hey, what I say behind closed doors, you can't say. Okay. But there we were. And he pulls out, right? A pound of mushrooms ain't no, little bag. That thing is about this big,
Yeah.
vacuum sealed and shit. So, we get some scissors, rip that bitch open.
Yeah.
And then, we don't got measuring devices, right? We don't got scale. So what we do is we eyeball it. So we assume a palmful, right? I'm talking like a good palmful.
Yeah.
Is about a quarter, right? That's what he said. Like, just take a quarter. An eighth is what he said, actually. I took more like a quarter.
Dang.
So I just go munch these motherfuckers down. My homie does the same. And then we're just chilling on the bedside. And then the plug was right there with us. And he was just watching us, He was like, how are you guys doing? Are you guys doing okay? And then I'm like, yeah, I'm doing okay. I don't really feel much. And then my homeboy, Baby Ross, was like, yeah, I feel good. I don't feel nothing. And then all of a sudden, like, I'm chilling on the bed. I'm just like, all of a sudden, like, I get like this. Like, you know how if you've been drinking a little bit too much, you get a little woozy and shit?
Yeah, the room starts to spin a little
That's
bit.
exactly what happened.
Yeah.
But, like,
Spinnies.
there was this,
Yeah.
you get the spinnies.
Spinnies, Kevin.
There was this portrait on the wall, right? It was of a ship in the ocean, and I stared at this ship, and all of a sudden it was sailing, like the water was moving, and then it was starting to coast through that, like it became alive. And I was like, hey, yo, Baby Ross, are you seeing this motherfucking painting? It's moving.
Oh my God.
He's like, he was just looking down at his head. He's like, it's not just a painting. Like, it was starting to melt. He gave me the universe. The reality was just starting to, everything was starting to come. And, I've never been through this before. It's a whole new, a whole new world. Lion King.
Oh, hell.
So I was just watching this boat move, and then I was like, "Oh fuck!" That's when it hit me. With mushrooms, you start feeling a little queasy because you're poisoning yourself. It's literal poison. I'm a scientist, trust me.
No.
Food poisoning, something like that. But listen, I am not trained in etymologics or some fancy word. Hey, pretend I'm saying something smart. Or agree.
Okay, I guess.
So I start getting an upset stomach, and I have to rush to the restroom because I'm like, this stuff is coming out. I rush to the restroom, And then I just like jump on all fours and I start heaving and hoeing. You get me? I'm looking at my puke in the toilet bowl, and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in the world. I literally see the universe. Like I see the Milky Way. I see the planets. I see the stars. I'm like, whoa. And then I'm like, you know what I'm saying? This isn't happening. This isn't happening. And then from the other side, you know, my homie's on the base like, are you okay, Kevin? Are you okay? I guess he could hear me because he told me later on, the next day, he's like, I could hear you in the bathroom saying this isn't happening.
And you thought you were thinking it or what?
I thought I was thinking it, but I was saying it out loud.
Oh my god.
Heck no.
I was just like, this isn't happening. Yeah, because literally everything was going crazy. So then I wiped the fucking snot off my nose, and then I go back into the room, and then I'm like, how are you feeling? He's like, I feel really crazy right now. And then we sit, he sits on his bed, I sit on my bed, and then we just start talking. And then that's what the first time we started talking about the universe and shit. And then it was like one of those moments, because after this,
I never went back to the way I was thinking.
like it's like a switch. You know how they say if you take this pill, you never go back?
Yeah.
It's funny because you never do, because I as soon as I saw the other side of it, like it was so, like I don't even know how to think how I thought before, because all of the thoughts that I thought before were like very unimportant. You know, it feels like I don't really care about those other thoughts. Like, you know, the ones like your program, like all the programming was just disrupted there. And those mushrooms literally just cut that circuit and made me think in a different way. I never went back. Like, that literally is true, that you won't go back to how you... I guess you could trick yourself into thinking it, but, like, I never did from that moment on. And, you know, we had a good conversation and shit.
Yeah.
And then we were like, you want to do it again?
Oh my god.
That was a bad idea, because then we took another handful. Then after that, we went from the good trip, wow, the universe is beautiful. I get it. Everything is wow. And then that one was just a bad trip. We're like, oh my God, something's going to hurt me, blah, blah, blah. I forgot to mention one minor story. You see, my stay at the Sheraton was more than just a psychedelic trip. It was a psychedelic trip through a wormhole which led me to the other side of the abyss. Let me tell you what else happened at the Sheraton. As I said, Baby Ross and I just got done exploring the universe, quantifying our knowledge as to what happens in this dimension, when all of a sudden I had the urge to go outside for some fresh air. Mind you, this is completely peaking on that mushroom trip. I was completely bonkers. But my homeboy Ross said, alright, that sounds like quite a plan. So I decided to try and take a walk outside. However, I didn't have anything with me. The only thing I had was a pair of shorts, sandals, what do they call it? A wife beater, and my room card. But my room card did not tell me the room number that I was in. I had no cellular device, and I was out the door. As it closes behind me, I noticed that we're really high up there into the Sheraton building. We're like on the upper level of the hotel rooms. And I look down over the railing and I start like to really go deep into my head. And by that point, I forgot what room I was in already. But, gotta keep the adventure going. So I make my way towards the elevators. So I just jump in. But my mind was so crazy at the time. I forget how an elevator works. I see the letter G, which I believe stands for ground floor, right? I click it, and then it takes me all the way down, down, down. As the elevator doors open up, I am not on the ground floor. The G stood for garage. So now I'm in the garage, and I start to panic because, this is in the making of a bad trip, because I start getting in my own head. I'm like, this is where people go to die. How many people get killed in a parking lot, in a garage? So I immediately start clicking the button. I'm like, one. I look at the number 1. I'm like, okay, 111. I'm like, let's see what this is. I click it, and it makes its way back up. And then I arrive at level 1. The doors open again. And to my surprise, I finally make it to the lobby. Is where I wanted to be. And then I make my way towards some swinging doors. And, usually, it was those doors that just go circle. And, the ones that just circle over and over. Yeah, the revolving doors. And normally, that would be no problem to just get in and out. But during my inebriated state, this was the hardest task of my life. I was like measuring it, like as if I was about to do some double dutch, like I was about to start doing some jump rope. And I'm like back and forth. I'm like, okay, I'm going to jump in. And then I finally decide to jump. And then I start running with the doors because I think it's going to hit me. Like it's going to run over my feet or something. So I start like pushing the door in front of me and running. And then I just jump out the other side. And I make it. I'm in the free world. I'm outside. And immediately, everything is so beautiful. I notice the city lights. I notice the huge tall buildings. And I'm like, wow. Humans created this. Look at how beautiful this is. And that's when I decide the stroll shall begin. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to stick to just going around the block, because if I go anywhere else, I'm going to get lost, even more lost than I am already. So I just start walking around the block and start admiring the beauty. The cars are passing me by. My eyes are fully dilated and crazy. And then I run into a stranger. And then he's like, hey, how you doing? And then I get scared. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? I'm not, my plan wasn't to talk to anybody. But here he is. He's like, hey, you got any cigarettes? And then I guess he was a homeless man. And then I was like, no, I don't have any cigarettes. And then he's like, argh. And then he grumbles and then he walks away. And as he's walking away, I get scared all over again. I'm like, who the fuck was that guy? Why did he come and talk to me? Is he gonna kill me? What's going on? And I start to panic. And then as I'm panicking, I remember, what fucking hotel was I staying at? And I can't remember where I was staying. And then I'm like, I better not keep walking anymore. So I just start retracing my steps. I start going backwards the same way I came. And then I'm like, I think this stuff looks familiar. I don't know. But to my surprise, I see the revolving doors. I hated them, but I was happy because that meant that I was closer to where I need to be, which is back in my hotel room. And then, again, I do the double dutch through the door. 1, 2, 3, and I jump in, then start running with the door as for it not to crush me. And then I get inside the lobby again. And then I just immediately run for the elevator. Because I'm like, fuck, I don't remember what floor I'm on. So I just click a random button, probably like level 10. And I get out on level 10. And then I'm like, fuck, where do I go? I don't have no cell phone. I don't have any recollection as to where I'm supposed to be. But then I like get out of the elevator doors and it closes behind me. As I'm just like staring at the buttons, I'm like, what level? I start to hear this weird noise. It's like, and I get scared. And then I get like, there's the elevator's doors, and beside it is like a little wall, and a plant is covering it. So it's like a little room area just to look out a window or something. And I run behind that plant and I hide. And then I'm like, what the fuck is that noise? What? And then I hear it again. And then I get fucking paranoid. So I crouch down and start hiding behind. It was a potted plant. So I start hiding behind the potted plant. And then it's getting closer to me. Yeah, that's a fucking monster behind me. And then the sound starts getting closer. And then before it attacks me, I'm gonna jump out and see what it is, try to scare it off. So I like just abruptly jump out of the potted plant area. I'm like, ah. And then I see the sound was coming from an old lady playing something on her phone. And then as she sees me, she starts to freak out. Then I see her start pressing the fuck out of the button to open the door. She's like, click, 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 click. And then I start to panic. I'm like, oh shit, what's going on? Then she jumps in the fucking elevator door. And then I start to panic because I think she's going to go look for a supervisor or something and say, there is this crazy man roaming the hotel room, which I am. And then I start to panic. And then I jump into the elevator. And then I'm like, oh, universe, please send me back to where my hotel room is. I don't know what's going on. So I just look at the buttons, and then I'm trying to feel it out. I'm like, well, maybe the universe will let me know which button to press so I know which room to go to. And then I just click on one, whichever one it was. I don't remember. It probably like level 15 or something. I click it, and then I get out of the elevator doors, and everything in the hotel looks the same. Every hotel floor looks the same no matter what you're at. But I get out, and then I start walking. And then as I'm walking, I pass through this one area. Unfortunately, my Zoom died. But as I was saying, as I passed through this one area, a door slowly creaks open. And I see a face pop out. And it's my homeboy, Baby Ross. I was like, what the fuck? And then he's like, oh, there you are. I've been texting you, but then I seen that you had your phone in the room. And then I was like, yeah, I was fucking lost for the past, I don't even know how long I've been gone. He's like, you've been gone for a minute, dog. And then I fucking go back into the room, and the day was saved. Yo, shout out to the universe for leading me back. That was a crazy ass fucking adventure. Now back to the podcast. Meaning of the story.
Yeah.
How I started off, I paid for my college tuition, so I was ready to go back to the system. I went back to school. I said, fuck y'all, give me my money, and dropped out of college that day because I knew this shit wasn't for me. I was just faking the funk,
Yeah.
I was pretending to be a college boy, but the truth is I was going to college for me.
Did you feel weird?
I was doing it for my parents. What do you mean?
Like just going, well, you didn't go yet, huh?
No.
Went back right away?
I was on the drive back, it was really when I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then because I was supposed to go to college the following week, I was already enrolled. So I had my classes and shit. But after that, that just punched me in the face and let me know, yo, you don't even want to do this bullshit. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So yeah, it pretty much just gave me a reality check, which is why I think and am the way I am, because
I never went back.
to the old way thinking of Kevin. I've always been
like a little jabroni.
like some people yes. Some people just naturally have this way of thinking. Like Maria has this way of thinking. Malcolm had this way of thinking where you don't just see things for what it is. You do have this way of thinking as well, where you're not just looking at this 3-dimension or this 2-dimensional box. It's like let's get
into it.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
But like spirituality, what do you think is out there?
Like as far as what?
So, like
Yeah, exactly.
like a higher power. You get me? People believe in Jesus Christ, the universe, and all that. Do you believe in a higher power?
Oh, heck yeah.
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 Is it something you say you feel, or how would you describe it?
I don't even know, man. I feel like it's just something that you know. I don't really think it's like
Yeah.
a feeling of
You
some
just
sort.
you just know, like, I don't know, because I think about that too sometimes. I'm like, I think about it too, like with me, you know, like being like growing up Catholic, like I just like I'm confused. I'm like, well, yeah, there's Jesus, you know, believe in him, but I also like believe in the universe, but it's like, isn't that basically the same thing?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know.
Like, what I find really interesting is that the power of belief in Jesus Christ is so powerful that it's made him real. You know, like
Yeah.
that power of him is real because of the belief of the people.
That's what I think.
And so
too.
that's why I believe in him, but I also believe in like universe, source, whatever.
That's a
Yeah.
good point, because
Yeah.
just like everybody believes that money is worth a certain value,
Yeah.
that means it is worth that. So just so like if everyone's given Jesus the power that he's alive, he's going to be alive, right?
Yeah.
But like you said, that a Jesus or whatever, so wouldn't that be like everybody is praying to a higher power? Wouldn't that be like the same thing? But everyone is like trying to classify it in their own category.
I mean, it's kind of how we label ourselves. You know, I'm a Democrat, I'm a blah, I'm a this, I'm an artist, I'm this. I'm just trying to identify what I believe in, you know?
Yeah,
Like
the
everybody's
whole-
trying to be like an individual and
the identity crisis
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Like honestly, if I had the opportunity to not label myself at all, I wouldn't do that. Like I'd be like, yeah, I'm an artist, but like I don't really.
Yeah, I feel
you
that
know.
too. Yeah,
No.
I get it.
I was having a conversation with this one dude earlier in the week, and this one, he's younger than me. He's some younger cat. And he was telling me like, so like I have some questions. He just seemed lost, and he was just talking to me like, what do you believe in? Like, are you agnostic? Are you believe in the universe? And then I told him, I was like, well, to be honest, I don't have a label. Like for me, I don't have all the values, or do I believe in all the things that an agnostic person or a Catholic or they believe in.
Yeah.
Like I'm just me at the end of the day. You can't put me in that box. Even, you know, it's easier for everybody just to know you as this and that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's more complex than that. I'm not simply this or that. I'm like I say, fluid. You go what you change with.
It's just this or that, or you're just being.
Yeah.
Like
You're just being existing.
you're a human being. Exactly.
I'm a human being. Yeah, well, when I used to be like deeper into meditation, I swear, once you get good, like deep into meditation, you could feel the universe.
Yeah.
Like there's a place like
your
in
fingers,
Really?
in your body, everywhere. It
Yeah.
feels so fucking good. It feels so warm. And for me, it's like an amber kind of feeling. Back in the day when I was, this was post mushroom trip. This was like literally a month into it, because I was really, really deep into that rabbit hole. So I was falling deep into the meditation and to that whole monk and whatever that whole way of life. So I was just about it. I was reading books. So I started. I was meditating and also had headphones dialed into a certain frequency. So that way I could go more in sync.
That is crazy.
And control my chakras. So I was trying to, I was sitting, posturing right, get my chakras aligned and all that shit.
Yeah.
Trying to get the most out of it. So at this point in time, I was deep in that game. And I swear, like, there would be a place in my head that I would go to, like, myself would think of myself in my head and like this waterfall. There was a waterfall. There's a forest behind me. There's green grass and a big boulder. I would walk onto this big boulder shirtless. I would lay down a towel, and then I'd meditate in my head. So not only meditating, I'm meditating in my head, and then the meditating me in my head would feel so good that the real me would start feeling good. It was crazy.
That is crazy.
That's like interesting because I've heard of that almost as like, I'm not sure if it's like astral projection or just like, I don't know, because I see like sometimes when I meditate, I see some things where some people say it's like your mind's eye, you know, and so I don't know. Yeah. I just find that really cool. That's interesting. Yeah.
I mean, I'd be trying to get back to that place, but I haven't reached that that form of enlightenment again.
I mean,
it's like I said, I was really focused and dialed in at that point, though.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there's a lot of like forums or like people that are always like, how do you reach enlightenment? And I'm like, I don't really know if there is a way of reaching enlightenment. You know, like we're all here to be human.
Yeah.
You know.
If anything, people find enlightenment in different ways. Like while you're painting, what do you feel when you're painting?
It depends. Like sometimes there's times where I'm really dialed in and I can like feel it and just be there. There's other times where I'm just like can't really do that, so I'm like have Netflix going on or something. Because I know what I'm doing. Like my body already knows what to do. It's like I know I can execute this. Just do it. But when I want to be like in that moment, like meditating, I put like some incense on or something. Just kind of like breathe, like intentionally breathe.
Do some Krav Maga or whatever. some deep heavy breathe.
Oh my god.
That's a form of breathing. Yeah. Like you try to get high off that. You breathe in and then you breathe out.
Isn't it like the Wim Hof method?
The Wim Hof method.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was reading a book into breathing. I forget what it's called. I think it's called Breath. Yeah. I was reading that book. That's a method. If you want to get high, you have to do that for like 30 minutes. Just like hyperventilate. It's a form. I mean, it works. Okay,
people have their different ways, huh?
Hard times call for a hard practice.
Dang. Oh my gosh. I could not. I don't see myself doing that. Hell.
Let me tell you this experience that happened literally today. I told Maria about it earlier, but I took a nap today, right? Because I did a lot earlier in the day. I took a long nap. I did a lot, so I was a little tired. 20-minute naps for anybody interested. Take 20-minute power naps. You get fucking boom right into it. Look, I'm energized, partly because I drank a Monster, but also because I took a power nap. Okay, so there I was, unconscious, right? And I wasn't like fully unconscious because that's why they say take a 20-minute nap, because that way you don't fall fully into REM sleep. You know what REM sleep is?
Rapid eye movement, like you just...
Yeah, pretty much when you're deep sleep already. Yeah. So 20 minutes avoids you going to REM sleep and you waking up groggy and going with your head hurting. It's always a gamble when you're like, am I gonna wake up ready, or am I gonna wake up like una cruda? Yeah. So I was taking a 20-minute nap, and like I woke up 10 minutes into it, and I wasn't fully awake, nor was I fully asleep. I could hear Maria was in the kitchen cooking something, so I could hear her rattling the dishes and shit. But I wasn't fully in my dream neither, because I would like close my eyes and then I could imagine stuff happening and shit. So I was like in this in between world, and I'd fall asleep, and like this happened today. Remember? Yeah. And I'd be like with a different family, like people I don't know. Like I remember this one white girl just thinking, just saying in front of me, like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're doing this." And then I remember thinking to myself right there, I'm like, "This is fun. This isn't even me. This isn't even my family." And then I wake up, I'm like, who the fuck were those people?
You think it's like you think it's someone like downstairs or upstairs in a different apartment?
Yeah, that happened once, right? That was the first time. And then this is all 20 minutes, and then I'm like, I go back to this in between world, and then again I hear Maria rattling, and I'm like, if I open my eyes, I'll end this state. So I'm like, I don't want to end it right now. Let's see what else could happen. So what is it, like astral projection or whatever? I think I was in that in between world. I could have probably left my body, but I was in this world. And then I'm like, let's see what else happens. So I close my eyes again, and then again I go into this other world, and I see like I'm this white boy now. I'm this white boy, round boy, short hair. And then I'm with his dad. I'm like, what the fuck? Who are these people? That's what I say to myself in the dream.
Yeah.
I'm like, who are these people? This isn't me. And then I wake back up, and I'm like, and then I don't fully wake up. I don't open my eyes because I know that if I wake up, then this is gonna end. And then I still hear Maria over here rattling stuff in the kitchen. But then something tells me in my head, your alarm's about to go off. You got like a minute or two. And then I'm like, fuck, I don't want to leave, but my alarm's gonna wake me up, and I'm gonna have to. So, and like a minute later, beep, beep, that shit goes off. And then as soon as I wake up, I look it up immediately. Here, let me show you. Where's it at?
So that was the master projection?
I don't know if it was.
Immediately, can you dream someone else's dream? Because I assume this is what was happening. Was I dreaming somebody else's dream that's asleep right now?
Because was it like a person that you would see today, or was it like a
No, yeah, it was literally somebody you would see today.
Oh, really? Dang.
And this is what it said when I wrote that. Can you dream someone else's dream? Because I felt I was dreaming somebody else's dream, because these people are so random to me and I don't know who they are. It said, dream telepathy is purported ability to communicate telepathically with another person while one is dreaming. So I'm guessing, what if somebody is asleep right now and I was dreaming their dream? You know how SpongeBob went into other people's dreams and shit? What if I was...
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but I'm saying that's what happened today.
That's funny.
Huh. That's interesting.
I don't know. That is...
Thoughts
that
and
is so
opinions?
crazy. You're just really good. I don't know. I can't even... I'm not even aware when I'm in my dreams. That,
Oh, really?
Yeah, like that I'm dreaming. Sometimes, yeah, but like... Not like that. Like, okay,
well,
no,
no,
I'm gonna go do this.
I'm not saying this is the first time that's ever happened. Like, I knew I was in this in between state. Like, and I knew if I opened my eyes, then it would be over with. So it was really funny. That happened today. But
I think it's possible that you could have like tuned into someone else's frequency, and kind of were in their shoes.
I literally don't know who these people were, but
Yeah.
they were. I felt like I was them and they were my family. But I'm like, who the fuck are
Were
these
you
people?
seeing it like in
First
third-
person,
a
like
first
first person, like they were looking at me and talking to me as if they knew me and shit. And but then
That's
they
so
were.
interesting. That's weird.
It's quite the journey I had today.
Yeah. I've had like weird experiences in like dream when you have like sleep paralysis,
Oh,
when you're like
that's
half
scary.
awake, half asleep. There's been times where it's been scary, but there's been other times where like I see stuff, like I see the person next to me awake, and I'm just like, what?
Oh.
Like I'm trying to talk to them and I can't talk to them, and then like I actually wake up and they're passed out, and I'm like, what?
That is crazy.
Yeah,
It's creepy.
yeah, it was creepy, but now I've gotten used to it. But there has been some times where it gets like really weird.
I've had a moment of sleep paralysis. I don't know if you've heard it, but for those of you that have heard it, I'm gonna say it again, right? So there I was laying in bed, right? Maria and I went to go visit. We were hella big into like going to visit cemeteries and stuff.
Why?
It's fun, So
We
went-
wanted to check some spirits out, say what's up to them.
we went
Channel
to
them, dude.
Yeah.
Y'all need to know.
we went to the local cemetery here, right? So after that, these graves are old. I'm talking 1950s, 1960s. No, yeah, maybe 1800s. Some of them, maybe not here. The one we've been to the one in Robb Cemetery for sure, 1800s.
Cemeteries.
But so we come back from the cemetery, and then that night we get back. I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel any different. Like I didn't feel like I disrespected any spirits or anything like that.
Yeah.
So we go back, we lay back down, while we're going to sleep, and we go to bed that night, and let's say maybe like early in the morning, like maybe midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, I wake up, my eyes wake up, but my body can't move. It's like sleep paralysis, and then I hear this voice, and then I hear a giggle, a little girl's giggle,
Oh, that is scary.
and then I hear a woman, and then I'm like, what was that? And then I'm like, oh shit, no, they're here. Oh my God, they're gonna get me. Like I'm thinking like it's a demon about to get me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, they're here. And then I hear the woman's voice
See, I told you that's how they get.
when they hear us or something.
Oh.
And then I was like, oh shit. No, wait, no, I'm okay. Let me repeat that back. I heard a giggle, and then I get scared, and then I wake up. I wake up on that. I moved my body again.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh shit, okay, I was just hearing shit. I go closer to Maria and I hug her. And that's when I hear the voice. So when I'm completely awake and I can move my body is when I hear the voice.
See, I told you that's how they get when they hear us.
And this is me fully awake. You know, sleeping paralysis is another thing. And then I just put the covers over my head, you know, like a little kid. I'm like, they can't get me with this. I didn't wake Maria up at all because I didn't want it, you know, in my head at that, you know, at 1 a.m. is like, if I wake her up, then that's going to confirm that they're real. And then they're going to, I don't know. You know, you think crazy in the middle of the night.
Get two in the head.
So I didn't wake her up. I just held her tight. And then I finally go back to sleep.
Dang, dude.
But that was one of my sleep paralysis.
I feel like there's some ghosts that just want to, like, you know, have fun. They like to fuck with you a little bit. So that's a possibility. What they were doing was just like, let's watch them.
Let's watch what they're doing.
Let's just see. You know, she was, I don't know. Usually when that, like, something weird happens, I'm always like, okay, you can't be here, leave.
The next day, that's Maria and I, right away, we cleansed this place.
Yeah.
Like, we got sage and we went all over the apartment.
Yeah, dude, because sometimes they just come in because they think they're being invited, you know, because we're not really aware. But you got to be like, nah, I'm asserting my boundaries. You can't come here. Yeah.
That's what they say you have to do, not in an aggressive way, but it's just because they're lost. So you have to let them know that they're not welcome here, but without being like mean and, you know, just like, hey, you can't stay here. Sorry. But you got to bounce.
Yeah, dude, there's been times where, like, I remember at my parents' house, like, I don't know if it was sleep paralysis or anything. I used to get that a lot, but one time I saw like a little girl like just hanging out, but I didn't get scared or anything because I like saw her, turned around, then went back, and then she wasn't there. I was just like, oh, cool. I don't know. It was, now that I think about it, I was like, my reaction was not that great.
How old were you?
I don't know, 15 or younger. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's old enough to be scared.
Yeah, dude. But there's been like other times after that where I have been scared, but I think it's for the right reasons. Like, at that moment, I wasn't scared, and I think
probably because there wasn't nothing bad.
It wasn't anything bad.
Yeah.
It's probably it didn't have a negative vibe to it.
No, it didn't. That's why I was like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah. That definitely is good for what do you think happens when you die then? What are these spirits? Because let me just preface this by saying some people believe that what ghosts are is when you unexpectedly die. Let's say someone murders you. You weren't ready to die, so you're still living in this world because you haven't accepted that you're dead because you didn't know it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Such as people in car accidents, people that were murdered, you know, people that just boom rapidly died. Those are spirits. What do you think of that theory?
Well, I agree with it. I would assume
that's
correct.
True. I believe that too.
Yeah.
Because they're like, what happened? Some ghosts don't even know sometimes.
You know, like, there's been, like, shows I watch where they're, like of channels or whatever. Like, people that channel ghosts and stuff, like spirits. And they say that they have a hard time going to the light because they don't know that they've died. So it's, like, that's why, like, psychics exist or channelers, because they help them, kind of guide them.
Yeah.
So you do believe that there are, like, certain people that could talk to spirits? Or
I don't know. I'm still like skeptical, but at the same time, I'm like, I do believe it. I don't know.
You know, I feel that, but like me, I swear, like I'll believe in anything. Like,
yeah,
like I'm that type of person. Because like honestly, it's like I think of it like we live in a crazy world. Like, why not?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't we believe in that? Like, that's something else that's also crazy.
What I find really interesting is that it's like shunned. You know, because I feel like. Damn,
you got a catfight in the back.
I don't know. I feel like in like traditional cultures, like or like in cultures overall, like there's always that kind of superstitious or like psychic type of like things that we haven't really acknowledged. You know, like in Mexico, like there's the egg cleanse that people do, and
it works too.
It works. That's the thing that my mom would teach me, and then like I actually like know how to do it. Like,
let me just explain for those of you that don't know what that is. For Mexicans, when they want to cleanse, what is it? When you want to cleanse your soul or your spirit
energy,
or your energy, they
when
get
you have mal ojo,
when alguien te pone mal ojo, you grab an egg, right? Like one you get at the Walmart or whatever, and then you. And then you
$1.99.
You don't have to be no special egg. You get me? You just get it from Walmart or wherever you get it. And then like a Mexican mom or whatever just like wipes it down on your forehead all the way, you know, just cleans all over your body.
Type of like prayer or
and
something.
says a prayer, and then like they break it open, and then they like it's like different kinds of colors it can be.
Yeah.
And then depending on what they
the form,
what
how thick it is or whatever.
And that is an egg cleanse for a lot of you that don't know that. It works. Like I'm saying, I've got it done before, and it's crazy.
Like I remember seeing one time like an egg come out being like kind of like reddish.
Oh dang!
It was crazy. It was so crazy, and then the yolk was just like,
really?
Yeah.
Some people are. That's crazy that some people can do curses and shit like voodoo and all that shit. But
I mean, I think we kind of just don't acknowledge the energy sense of our lives because everything is the physical, but there is like an energetic thing to everything. And so that's what I think like psychics or witches or whatever like that they tap into, or they kind of like do like the egg cleanse as an example, or like the incense, you know, sage, all that stuff.
Well, how many times have you thought of someone, then they text you or call you?
Several times.
Like, is that not just so weird how that happens? Like, there is a connection, but we're not allowed to tap into that connection because we're distracted. Like, I feel like we're purposefully distracted.
Oh yeah, because we all have like an immense amount of power, I think, like every single one of us. And we're just like, I'm gonna play Pokemon.
Hell yeah. So
Pokemon's great though.
Shout out to Pokemon. But like instead of focusing on trying to make it stronger, you know, you get distracted with the phone or with all these celebrities or whatever, because I feel like you know how they have those superpowers and shit, or superheroes? I feel like everyone could have, like, if you really tap into your brain, like, you could be your own sort of superhero, right?
Yeah, like we're some type of superhero ourselves.
Yeah, because, like, you know, like, we all have our intuition. Yeah. You know, you could say that's, like, a superpower.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so, like, trying to, like, help it or hone it, that's, I think, is, like, the superpower. Yeah.
It's just... if you're it's commitment to try to, I guess, improve that, but it's hard because especially here in the US is nothing but distractions. Like, there's nothing but, even here in the quaint city of Nebraska, dude. Right? It's not the bustling city of New York, but we still got a lot of distractions here too.
At least we got nature to hang out in and stuff like that. But there's sometimes, dude, when I'm trying to be like chill, quiet, and I'm like itching to grab my phone. Yeah. You know, like you just, your body's used to it, your mind is used to it for that distraction.
Craziest thing, I was trying to get, you know, I've been getting back into meditating. So I got these earplugs, I shoved them in my ear. And quick funny story, I told Maria, I want to go into the bathtub and meditate in there. Because my bathtub, for those of you that don't know, is, I live in an apartment, so the bathtub is completely in the dark, no windows or anything. So I could just go in there, and there'll be no sound, no light, no nothing. So I just wanted it to be like one of those deprivation tanks.
Flotation.
Yeah, I've been in one of those before.
Really?
Yeah, they used to have one here in Kearney.
They don't have it anymore?
No, I guess they left about 2 years ago, but I would go there.
I would have loved to go. Dang.
You would have loved it. It's dope as fuck. You just float in there. I would float in there for like an hour, just completely out of it. I would go fucking baked. That shit was hella fun.
I bet. That would be cool.
You completely disassociate yourself with everything. Like everything works perfect.
You just go into the source.
I loved it. Yeah, but unfortunately they left. I forgot what their name was. It was something, but they're not. I was looking into it. I don't know if they're gonna open back up, especially not now. But
because COVID. Yeah.
So I went in there after work. I went in there and I put my earplugs in. And I was just chilling in there for like 5 minutes, just trying to get into my Zen flow state. Yeah. And as I'm chilling, I'm like, man, this shit sucks. Because, you know, we got the cat's litter box in there, so I'm smelling cat litter and shit. Yeah.
And I had told him, too, I'm like, Kevin, you're not going to like it. And then he's like, I'm going to be in there. I don't care. I'm like, you're not going to like it. I just know.
And then I'm shoeless, and then I get a drip, drip, drip on my sock from the faucet. And then I'm like, okay, I gotta get out of here. I'm not really getting into my Zen state. But I kept my earplugs in and I came out here to my balcony, right? And it's a beautiful blue sky day. I got my 3 cats with me, just chilling out front with my earplugs in, and I can't hear shit. I can't hear birds. I could hear the faint sound of cars in the background just whizzing, but because we're in a busy intersection. But I'm just like sitting there, close my eyes for like a few seconds. I open them and just relax. And without the sound, like literally just viewing the world without sound is like a different experience. It's very, very peaceful. I found it like very like peaceful.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm gonna start doing that from now on. If you should try out. Let me know if you like it.
Yeah.
Like that shit legit. Experiencing the world without
Practicing
sound
for
is
when you go
different.
deaf?
Trying to see their point of view, but it's a different world because I hear the cats is going meow, but I can't hear them meow, so I just see them look at me.
Yeah.
And without sound, you realize how hectic the world is. Sound literally is all over you. Like when I had my earplugs in, I couldn't hear Maria over here again clattering dishes. She's always fucking clattering dishes over here. or the cats meowing, or the cars in the background, or just everything. Like you don't realize how much sound there is until you block it all out.
Yeah.
And then when you're only seeing the world, it's a whole different light. Like it's weird. The only time I have earplugs is when I'm at work, but take them out of the workplace and they're hella good experience. What about dreams? Do you guys think that's just a normal thing to be unconscious for 8 hours of a day? Is it normal for...
No, it trips me out, dude.
It's the most... Like, you just go completely limp for 8 hours? You're like, hey,
Dude,
excuse
for
me, guys.
real.
I gotta go unconscious for 8 hours.
Nah,
like,
dude.
You know, like dreams for me, they feel like I always tell Kevin, like, I feel like I'm living in another, like, alternate universe.
Yeah.
Because I feel it, like, I'm in that moment and I'm just, like, doing things there, like, with my family and stuff. And it's just, like, in the moment with people, like, just, it's so weird.
No, you get emotion,
Yeah.
like, too, and it's weird. Like, sometimes I wake up scared, or I'm sad, or I'm happy, and I'm like, what the heck, dude? That was just a dream. Or I have really weird dreams, where, like, you have no idea what's going on,
Yeah.
like, at all. Like, it's just, I don't know. Yeah.
It's weird. It goes from familiar to completely strange
And
at the
then
same time, and
disturbing.
sometimes it mixed in.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
hell
I
yeah.
have...
They say
No.
everything has a purpose, but what's the purpose of sleep? Like to re-energize and do all that, but like,
Yeah.
wouldn't you think there'd be an easier way? Like you are literally susceptible for 8 hours. Somebody
mean-
could just come kill you.
I mean, you could say the same thing for, like, food. Like, why do we need food? You know, why do
Yeah.
we need sleep? Why do we need this? We're in a physical body. You know, if we
Yeah.
were just energetic beings, then yeah, you could say that
We need
that
fuel.
doesn't matter.
Why do we need any of this material item? Yeah, it's weird. I mean, if you think about it, just being alive is weird, you know? One day you're not here, the next, like I always say, the one thing you're promised as soon as you're born is death.
Yeah.
You get me? But that's the weird part. Like everybody, like, have you seen like colorized like 20s videos? Like they colorize like
they put color in the pictures?
like New York in the 1920s or the 1900s, and then I'm like, you see everybody just with their little hat moving around. You see the horse and buggy and the fucking the popular thing back in New York. I'm like, damn, everybody in this video are dead.
Yeah.
But literally, they were an entire species, like people that lived in the
Generation.
city, right?
Yeah.
But now everybody in that generation there is dead,
Yeah.
and a whole new people just came in and took over. That's literally how life is.
Yeah, dude.
So
I mean, it's a cycle of life, and I feel like nowadays it's just everything is distracting us from what life is or what death is, because a lot of people don't know how to cope with death.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's a difficult thing to even process, like having a close loved one or somebody to pass away. It's difficult, and I don't think the Western world has done a good job at, like, even allowing us to process death in any sort of way. Yeah.
The way I've been looking at it recently is like literally we're all in this elevator ride together. You, me,
Yeah.
Drake, Kanye,
Hell yeah.
everybody in this ride we're in. You get me? Everybody alive today.
Yeah.
You guys are all our people.
We're all on the same level. Like, people who say that they're better because they have money or whatever. Like, dude, no. Like, humble yourself down. Like, we're all on the same level, man. We're all trying to live life. We're all playing this weird game. Yeah.
The Sims live.
For real.
It is, yeah.
I love that game.
Yeah, for real.
Maria's favorite too.
I'm like, I am the creator. Yeah. Bitches.
As important as you feel now is the same as important somebody felt back then. You get me?
Yeah.
Like, this is all about me, and the more you learn about history, the more you understand that right now is the most important and the least important.
Yeah.
You know?
Everything goes through cycles. That's one thing that trips me out, dude, is like everybody's experiencing their own life. Like, I'm here in my body, you're in your body.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's just, living. It's like, what?
It's crazy. Like, cause that's what, like, when I was like, at least like, I remember having those thoughts when I would be like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
And then I would just like look at my hands and I'm just like, wow, like I'm looking like this is my life, like this is my story, like, and I would just look at my hands and I was like, whoa, like I could see through my hands, and then I would look at my brother, I'm like, and he's in his body, like telling his story, like I'm part of his story. I don't know, it would just be trippy to me.
Do you have a coming to conscious story?
Huh?
Do you have a coming to conscious story?
I'm not exactly sure. I think it was when I was like maybe in middle school, when like I had some like family members pass away, and that's when I became like more aware, conscious of myself. Because I feel like before
I'll definitely do it.
Yeah, because I think before then I was a pretty happy kid, like got everything I wanted, like all my parents took care of me. I had cool brothers. But when that happened, it was like a really weird switch turned on, and I was like, oh, what the heck just happened? Yeah.
It's weird. Like I say, sometimes just being alive, human, is the hardest thing to do.
Yeah, man. Like emotions.
Yeah, it's so weird. Emotions are just so weird to have. Like,
it's so rapid too. Like, you don't even know what's going on, but you're being pushed on this treadmill. Keep going. Like, what's happening? Where am I? Like, what's going on? Just keep going. Start paying your bills. It's like, keep going. Like, but what the fuck am I doing here? Who am I? Just keep going. And then you wake up, and then you're dead. No, then you're old. Then you're old, and then you're dead. And then once you could finally stop jumping on that treadmill, they stop pushing you to retirement. That's what you want. They want you to get to, right? Yeah. And then you start, what the fuck is life? What's going on? And then by that time, no one's pushing to keep going because you don't matter no more, because you're already retired. They squeeze all the juice out of you as they can. But retirement's at 65. What good are you after 65? You should be enjoying your fucking time now.
Yeah, every moment. That's why people, like, you know how Carney's like, a lot of people don't want to work. It's like, I don't want to work a shitty ass job. Like, I'm like young. I want to do the things I like, like, nah. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like in this world, at least in this world that we live in, work is inevitable. So I feel like find a job you could at least tolerate. And like, if like, find your way out. Like, I don't know what you have to do. I can't tell you what to do. Whatever you feel like you love doing, try to find a path through there. But like, you have to work. I mean, there's like no if or ands or buts about it. Like, you have to work in this world. Unfortunately, that's how it is. But especially here in the U.S.,
you have to do something you like, at least.
Yeah,
if you're gonna do it forever.
Straight up.
It's especially here in the United States, because most people don't really have any other mindset but the U.S. You get me? Like, we're Mexican and we understand the U.S. culture. Yeah. But most people are one-dimensional, right? They're these Americans that only think USA. But once you start seeing, especially if you travel internationally, or if you just travel outside of the United States, you start seeing a different way of life and how people interact.
Yeah, I think it definitely helped growing up as like a Mexican American, because you get to see two different point of views. It was because sometimes I talk to like some widows and they just have a different mindset, like
hella different.
Yeah,
it's so interesting because they're really into the physical. It's like oh, I gotta do sports, I gotta do this, oh, I'm gonna do this because my parents want me to. And it's like, who are you?
For real.
Yeah.
Or you got like this girl over here like, oh no, he has to have good health insurance before we get married. For this and
Yeah,
that.
we're watching this show. She's like, yeah, you have to have like good insurance and shit.
Yeah. This one girl told me, I was like, girl, you for real? Like,
Dang.
To have, I mean, that's like the last thing I think about good health insurance, to have a boyfriend or girlfriend. But it's just different like mindsets, right? Like growing up as a son of an immigrant, right? You don't have the same mindset, nor do we have the same. We're not at the same level playing fields, right?
Yeah.
You've been here longer than I have,
Yeah.
so I have to catch up to where you're already here, but you're already there by the time I catch up to where you're at.
Yeah, the thing is that they've already had like several generations established
And that.
here.
Mhm.
And so like moving to a whole different country is just insane. You're basically starting from scratch.
Yeah. Well, like, yeah, because I mean, like I talked to my pops about this. I'm like, you literally left Mexico, your entire family, everything, and you don't even know the language yet. You're working here.
Take
And-
some balls, man.
Yeah.
Straight up.
And you're crossing the fucking
Border.
the border back and forth. Like he did it like maybe 9-10 times. You get me?
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
It's because he'd be working here for like 6 months and then he'd go back to Mexico and live out there the other 6 months and then go back. But literally, you did. I always tell him, you did the hardest part of this relay,
Yeah.
right? Which is getting us here, right? I don't know if I could have done that.
Yeah.
Like literally going like leaving your entire family behind, crossing the border, picking fucking grapes. He was telling me stories of when they needed like, I forgot what were they, like cherries or some sort of
he said
berries
picking like some grapes. I think it was.
It was grapes?
Yeah.
that were all the way on top of the tree. And this is back in the
Orchards,
day where
yeah.
they weren't really regulated, right? They're just Mexicans. They don't really care. So he'd tell me there'd be a lot of Mexicans falling off the trees and then dying. So now they have more regulations where you can't climb a certain height. But yeah.
Dang.
So I'm like,
That is
you
crazy.
you did the hardest part of this journey. I'm like, that's why now we have to go to the next level, right? So we're gonna
Yeah.
be the next foundation here.
Yeah.
But that's all we could do right now is just keep growing a better foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Hell yeah.
see what else I got here.
It's like I always tell Kevin, like when we pass by like these rich people houses, I'm like look at them, Kevin, like that's gonna be us right there, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care, that's gonna be us. And I just think like they're lucky because they're already here, they were already
Yeah.
established, like they already had their business and everything. They get to live like that, and I'm like, we're a step behind them. We're
Yeah.
gonna be that, you know?
No, what I found, one of my professors told me this, is that like in Texas, it's almost like the opposite. Like in Nebraska, you see a lot of more like immigrants and stuff like that, but in Texas, there's a lot more like established Mexicans. You know, like they've been there for like 5 generations,
Yeah.
and so they have wealth. They have, you know,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
they've been there. So like they're the city mayor, they're the whatever, you know. Yeah.
Partly because that was back then when the border wasn't too secure.
Yeah.
You know, nowadays it's hella. I was watching a documentary over this. Most Mexicans and U.S. citizens were able to cross through the border
Yeah, like
easily.
nothing.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was just recently that they really
Started.
enforced it.
Yeah.
But before it didn't matter. Like Mexicans would go to the U.S. and go back to Mexico that same day. Like that's how it used to be. But nowadays,
nowadays it's like everybody's, I don't know.
It's like
it's
they're
more
at war.
which side are you on?
Yeah, which is weird.
I think it's like so hypocritical. Like why are you guys putting up a fence or whatever if you guys are over here like trying to steal the culture from us?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you guys
mean,
over here.
You know, the people that I think really should be pissed are like Native Americans.
Yeah.
Because
They got the worst end of the
they
stick.
got.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
for real.
I was seeing that I guess there's this tribe that is in the border of the U.S. and Mexico,
Oh yeah.
and they were there. I guess their whole tribe was in the middle, but I guess the border runs through their tribe, so now they have to choose a side. Which are you, North tribe or are you South tribe? And like the Indian was speaking, he's like, I don't like that they did that because it's not North or South tribe. We're all one tribe, but now they're
Yeah.
like,
You have to
like
pick a
making us
side.
pick a side.
That's so stupid.
I'm like, this guy's right here. Like they're themselves are making that happen. You know?
I know, like, my brain can't fully comprehend why that's even a thing. Like, why do you have to pick sides? Like,
just this imaginary wall.
it's just it straight up is like an imaginary wall that our brain built, and it shouldn't exist, but it does.
I mean, it's funny because I was telling Maria, like, the Canadians have a wall because they don't want the Americans coming through. Like, the same way the U.S. people are about the Mexicans, the Canadians are about the U.S. We don't want these fucking people coming. Look at they're lazy. They're coming in with their fucking drugs.
Dude, for real.
But let's finish off on this. We'll finish off on this. Have you ever experienced an ego death, or do you know what an ego death is?
I've heard of that, yeah, but I'm not necessarily sure. I don't know, man. I feel like as younger, I didn't really have an ego, but now as I've gotten older, I feel like it's starting to develop, and I can feel it, like, becoming a thing. Like, you know, like the story that I'm telling myself of who I am as a person.
Let me explain what it is for those people that don't know. Ego death is a complete loss of subjective self-identity. The term is used in various intertwined contexts. Let me dumb it down a little bit. Pretty much, who you think you are dies. You know, who you think you are. You're like, oh, I'm Maria. I like to paint. I like to do this. Boom, boom, boom.
I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm a blah. I'm a this.
Completely gone.
Yeah.
You're no longer any of that. You're just a collective. You're part of everybody around here. During that mushroom trip that I said, that's when I experienced my first ego death. That's what changed me. I like who I was. I guess that's why I say, like, I never went back to who that person was, because that was a complete ego death, and I didn't even know I had an ego till it died.
Yeah.
But
like it's in that book, like, the ego is that story you tell yourself, basically. Like, you're basically, I'm a daughter, I'm this, I'm that, you know. And I don't know, the ego just plays some weird tricks on your brain. But as I was, like, telling Maria, I'm like, I feel like as I've gotten older, I've been giving myself a story. And so it's really difficult to, like, kind of pin that away, you know, like, not really allow my thoughts to get drawn to that, to that story that I keep telling myself. Yeah,
like they say, your ego is not your amigo.
I like that.
I
mean, I think it serves a purpose, you know?
It does until it doesn't. You get me? Because you're not really that person. That's who you pretend to be. So, you know, it's like the props you put up so people could see you that way.
I mean, it's your character.
What do they say? People have three faces. The face you show to your friends and
the one when you're
in
by
society, and the face you show your friends and family, and then the true face that you only see yourself. So, that's why I say it's all fake, because pretty much the person who you are when you're by yourself is really who you are. But that's, I mean, literally not the person you show when you're around other people, because that's when you're most people
doing private times.
I don't know, for the most part.
Private times with Marie.
I mean, for the most part, I feel like I am who I am, basically, because, you know, I don't give a fuck anymore. I've grown, you know, I came to an age where I am. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. The only part, you know, the only part is really when I'm naked. That's really, other than that, like, everybody knows mostly about me. But all right, we're gonna go ahead and call that podcast to an end. Thank you, Angelica, for stopping by the Wandering Mind Podcast Studio.
Yeah, it's cool talking.
Right, just a good, nice talk, chill vibe.
A little spirituality podcast.
Or just random good stuff.
But thank you guys. We'll be back next week with another Spooktober. That's what I was gonna call it. Spooktober podcast. But Maria, any closing statements?
No, not really. You know, I don't know.
Oh, before we leave, plugs. Do you want to say any plugs? You want them to come follow you?
Yeah, I updated my Instagram handle. So
a
it's
new
different.
It's
not.
Instagram alert.
It's angel_tapioca_arte.
Give her a follow.
Yeah, please do.
Maria.
Oh, you know, it's let's just put that back for right now, because I still need to do some inspiration.
Okay.
Seeking.
Let me
drawing.
Let me give him your fucking handle.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's
all good.
G Loops, your creator.
It is
Yeah.
G Loops / your creator. Okay,
Yeah.
she uploads beautiful works of art. Very, very sporadically, but she does, right? She may go months without posting, and then one month,
Well, bam.
one day she posts 5 pieces of works. And of course, you can follow me on Instagram.com/elkevinguerrero is my personal account. But if you want to follow the Wandering Mind podcast, that is Instagram.com/the Wandering Mind podcast. Plus my Facebook well, it's not it's just Kevin G. Guerrero. The G stands for gangsta.
Oh my god. For Granny? No, it doesn't. For Guerrero.
I thought that was gonna be his like middle name or something. Kevin Greg.
I don't.
Oh hell no! What the?
That would be an ugly ass. That'd be. My parents gave me a chance, calling me Kevin. You know, that's why. That's why I say I'm Kevin G. Right.
Yeah.
That way, the white people give me a chance. Oh, his name's Kevin. Yeah, hire him. And then they see me. Oh, Kevin Guerrero. Oh shit, he's Mexican. But all right, motherfuckers. We'll catch you guys next time. Later.
Peace.
Bye.
The wondering mind. The wondering mind. The wondering mind.
Where the mind wanders.